Hi everyone, lovely to see you. I can see there's a few people waiting here already. I'm just making sure everything is working. Making sure the connection is working and the sound is on. I think everything seems to be good, so that is great. Yeah, audio is working wonderful. Welcome, thank you so much for joining in. If you don't know me, my name is Irene and I'm an artist and illustrator and I teach lots of art classes and I do these weekly live YouTube sessions. So if you know me already, fantastic, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm going to do a bit of sketchbooking, and last week I completed this little sketchbook, and all of these drawings in here are from quite a few years ago. And I decided to finish the sketchbook, so you can see I added in quite a few pages. I really like how this bird came out. And it's a really nice feeling to complete the sketchbook, even if it's just a thin one like this. So I decided that for today I'm going to do the same. I am going to work in this sketchbook, which I added a few drawings a few weeks ago. And you can see that a lot of these drawings, some of them you might recognize from previous live sessions. But yeah, all these drawings, especially these first one, these Christmas cards that I designed, I think in 2019 or 2020, ages ago. So these are all quite old drawings, old sketches, and it'd be really nice to complete the sketchbook. I've got quite a few pages left, so let's do our best to do that. And I decided for today I wanted to do some figure drawing. I love drawing people, I love drawing animals, and I decided to do a bit of figure drawing today because we've been doing lots of animals recently, so I decided to include some figures. You can find all the reference pictures on Pinterest. So I've linked that link to my Pinterest board in the chat if you want to have a look at them. And I just looked at some dancer photos because I always think that dancers have really interesting sort of composition to draw. So, and I wanted to draw in color as well. So let's get ready. I'm just quickly checking. Make sure you say hi in the chat. I love the fact that you're here and I love to know where you're from and if you're drawing along. And there we go. So make sure you say hi in the chat. I love drawing, and I really love drawing immediately in pen and in pencil. So I'm not making a sketch, I'm just going straight in with fine liner. I have not used these fine liners before. I've had them relatively recent. So let's give it a try. So if for this pose, I'm really looking at sort of rough proportions first. So this is the shoulders. Then I really notice this sort of bend to the front leg, and then also to the leg that is a bit further back. So I'm just really trying to figure out what the line is. This is my first drawing today, so I'm warming up. Just trying to figure out the right sort of pose first before I dive into any detail. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Let me see. Hi Amanda, lovely to see you. There we go. So I'm approaching this really loose, not focusing on any details at the moment. Just seeing what the rough pose is. My lines might become a bit more, how do you say? A little more sort of precise and determined once I've done a bit more drawing, but for now I'm just trying to figure out the proportions and where I want to place the figure on the page. It's almost like live drawing, isn't it? So I I just love drawing dancers. I think the proportions, like the movement of the body is such an interesting thing to draw. And I know that this is a bit messy, and that's okay. Because I'm not going for any details quite yet. I'll tidy it up with a bit of a second color at some point. So. The whole rest of my afternoon is art, because I'm hosting another workshop at 6 o'clock tonight for my community, which I'm really looking forward to. We're drawing dogs, so it's very much like introductory, like building drawing fundamentals and practicing our like proportion and figure drawing, but then for animals. So, but the whole morning I spent writing proposals and doing lots of other things. I think people sometimes forget that as artists you always have to go after all these opportunities yourself. And I spent quite a lot of time writing proposals and things like that. I'm quite happy with this. So I feel like the figure was placed down a little bit low, so I let this foot go off the edge. Let's start to tidy that up a bit. Where's my lid here? So I'm going to use a slightly darker color here. Really lovely to see everyone. Nice little group already gathering. So I'm glad that it worked okay. In the past, I've had so many problems scheduling events, and then when you go live, the streaming software that I use did not connect to the live stream and everything went wrong. But today it all worked okay, so that is really good news. It means that makes my life a little bit easier sort of going forward. So, seeing if I can make these lines a little bit more precise. So, there we go. I need to concentrate a little bit at times. What's everyone up to today? I just went for a run, wrote some proposals this morning. I need to prepare for some classes that I'm teaching in August in person. Also, actually next week I'm teaching a few classes in London. So I need to prepare for that as well. That hand is just really messy, but that's okay. I am just leaving it for now. I am usually quite good at drawing hands, but today these did not come out okay. So, the nice thing about working in two colors is that you can use that first color as a sort of guideline and then tidy up your sketch with the second color. So it's a really nice way of allowing yourself some mistakes originally and then slowly sort of tidying up. So let's have a look at this hand, see if I can do that a little bit better. So this is the pink going in that direction. This is the palm of the hand. So, there we go. That's a little bit better than the other one, isn't it? That was just a mess. And there we go. Sometimes when I'm talking and drawing as well at the same time, my drawings don't come out as well as when I draw by myself. Because it takes a little bit of extra energy to talk and to draw simultaneously. So, there we go. I quite like it. We'll pick a few more poses after this as well. I used to do a little bit of ballet when I was younger, but I'm not really a dancer, unfortunately. I love dancing, but I'm not very good at it. So, actually I did do A-levels dance, or like high school diploma dance, a long time ago. So, and I mostly did it because we had to sit still all day, you know, doing so many subjects, and it was just really nice to spend an hour moving, doing something else. So yeah, I really loved it. I was never really good at it. So it's a little bit messy, isn't it? So, well, let's focus on the next one. There we go. Next figure and next drawing. So these, if you look for dancer photographs, you come across so many fun, interesting pictures. So, I might use a slightly different technique here, which I use a lot. I used it for these animals last week. So, and I will use it again. I'm going to use this blob technique. So I'm just using this highlighter. This is a really bright color. And I'm just focusing on those main shapes. So this is the foot. This is the leg. So I'm just starting with figuring out the shape. Just roughly, no details. But this is the head here. So this all needs to be a little bit higher because I'm running out of space here. So, see if I can move all of that up a little bit, but there we go. We have a blob on the paper, and I'm now going to use, shall I use purple to add in a little bit more detail. So this is a technique that I love using for lots of different things. So this is the line from that leg there. This is the knee. So. See how that blob helps me sort of come up with the initial shape. And then I can use my pen to refine the shape and to make it more precise and to almost make a little bit more of a plan. So, there we go. And this is the reason why I love doing this, is because it really helps focus. It really brings everything together. So I find it a really clear and fun way to make drawing a little bit easier. And it's a technique I use for anything, like for animals, houses, any type of drawings. So let's see, this top sort of goes like this. Arms are a little bit too thin, I think, and a bit short, but that is alright, because these are just quick sketches, just practicing. I don't expect these to be masterpieces. This is just me practicing my hand-eye coordination and my quick gesture drawing. So, let's see. So, there we go, maybe a bit of shadow in the ear. See, we have a really quick sketch already, and that only took a few minutes that way. You can add a little bit more detail. You can also see that I've switched to the brush side of this, of the pen, instead of using the sharp side. I just like brush pens. I like a bit of a chunky pen as well. So, just adding a bit of shadow here and there. There we go. I think that one might be finished. Hi Emily, hi Carol, lovely to see you. So, should we pick the next picture? I think it might be a good time to pick the next one. You can see I'm going through these quite fast. This is just practice. We're not creating complete portraits or anything like that. This one also came out a bit better than the first one. That's usually the case, isn't it? Like that one, I was sort of practicing, a little bit loose, like I was warming up, and this one feels much more solid, like the way I put the lines down with a bit more confidence and a bit more, solid. And that's something that I really notice in my drawing. The first drawing is never the best one, and that's something that I know for myself. I know that everyone has this actually, it's not just me. First drawing is never the best one. So sometimes it's good to make a quick drawing and then move on to the next one. Just turn that page and make a second one. Oh, actually, I was supposed to save this, wasn't I? There we go. So let's pick another picture. Should we do that one? I'm just going for different sort of dancing poses, just because I really like these poses. I think just really fun way of practicing. So There we go. Quick sip of tea. I'm drinking, not quite sure, soulful blends. They're nice tea it is. I think this might be focus tea. It's very nice. I drink a lot of herbal tea. And I find water a little bit boring, so instead of water I drink herbal teas. So let's do the same thing. I might use a slightly different color combination, although I love the yellow. I really like using highlighters for art, but I think I might switch it up a bit. So no, actually, let's stick with yellow. I might use a different pen though, but let's stick with yellow. So doing the same thing, starting with a bit of a blob. I've not used this pen before. This is a new one. Well, I've used these type of pens before, but not this particular one. I think I'm going to let that arm carry on a little bit longer. So these are just the line for the arms. I know that that's a bit too thick, a bit too wide, but that's okay. So. There we go, this is the leg. I really like just filling the whole page. And this is kind of I don't really like the word cheap, but it's quite a cheap sketchbook, an affordable sketchbook. You buy these for like a pack of 3 for a few pounds. So the nice thing about that is that I know that I don't have to be too precious about it. So, does this go for the paper? Oh, that's alright. So now I have a bit of a blob. I can start filling in the details. The only thing that I don't like about these dancer pictures is that they're not very size inclusive, are they? They're all like really super slim ballet dancers. And I like drawing people from different body types. So what I really like about these Pinterest pictures is all the different poses and the movement, but it'd be quite nice if there was a bit more diversity in the picture. So there's other websites where you can find references for live drawing that are a bit sort of better in that sense, a bit more diverse and a bit more, different genders and different bodies and things like that. But for a bit of a practice, I really like it. So these are the first lines that caught my attention. Is anyone drawing along today? Are you just watching or doing something else, working on your own projects? I know a lot of people like to work on their own artwork sort of at the same time. So if I sort of think of where the top sits, sort of here, and then going there. So you're just learning, practicing. Hi Kat, lovely to see you. These sessions are a little bit different from my usual art classes, in the sense that they're not very, like they're limited interactive. This is, isn't it? It's me drawing, chatting to you, but interaction is quite limited. Whilst when I teach over Zoom, I can answer questions, and it's much more interactive and more easier to teach for me as well. There we go. There's something about these people in these pictures that already is sort of exaggerated a bit, isn't it? Like, because they're the figures that they have and the poses, everything already feels a bit sort of stretched out and elongated and exaggerated. Is there something about making a drawing where it is fun to change the proportions a bit and exaggerate shapes? But I feel like with this, it's sort of already happening. So I think it's quite fun. I enjoy this drawing. So I like this one. I think I like that one a little bit better, the way it's coming out, but that's alright. It's a very different type of dance as well. Maybe I should look for some break dancing or something like that, something a little bit different. So let's have a quick look where we are at now. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a lovely day. Yeah, I think that one came out a little bit better. So let's have a look, see if I can find something a little bit different. Slightly different types of dancers. There we go. I'm just going to make that picture a little bit wider. And there we go. Different types of poses. So let me save that. Shall I use a different pen? So I'm going to use my ballpoint pen, my fine line, my fountain pen is the word that I'm looking for. And what I really like about fountain pen is that I have water-soluble ink in there, and I can make it a bit wet and then add some shadows. So I'm just going to see if I can add to this dancer justice. So I'm really focusing again just on the large shapes. There's a bit of a hand here. Really focusing on the large shapes first. No details quite yet. So if this is a shoulder. See, I'm going off the page a little bit, and that is okay. So I'm just figuring out those shapes. I'm really just doodling. I think sometimes some artists don't like the word doodle because it's sort of, I don't know, it doesn't sound very professional, doesn't it? But I really like it because I think it's, when you're sketching like this, doodling really feels much more accessible than like drawing figures or like doodling sounds like something where you think, oh yeah, I can do that. So much more loose, freer. Doodle is just like anyone can do it. That's what I really like about that word. So, and I draw quite a lot in pen. So let's add in a little bit of features. So a little bit messy, isn't it? That's okay. Because I'm just going to add some shadows and then use my water to make that all a little bit more precise. So I have another podcast coming out tomorrow where I am talking to Karen Abend, and Karen is the founder of Sketchbook Revival, and we had a really lovely, so we did some art together and we spoke about like Sketchbook Revival, of course, but also about creativity and art and starting with drawing, and it's such a lovely episode. It's coming out tomorrow morning. If you get a chance to give it a listen, I'd really recommend it. And not just because it's my podcast, but just because she's so amazing and we had such a wonderful conversation. And I think for anyone who wants to make more art, it's definitely worth listening to, because you can learn so much from her as well. So let's start adding some water to this, because it's just becoming a little bit messy right now. And I just quickly want to show you that, because that's so much fun. As soon as you add water to that ink, so I'm just quickly checking if my pen is working. See how that really changes everything. So I can go back in and add in the details once this is dry, but for now I'm just looking to almost paint this in, and I love drawing this way. I just think it's so much fun, and you sort of force yourself to be loose, a little bit messy. It's okay to be playful, just to see what happens, adding some quick shadows. Clothes and all this fabric is has so much texture, doesn't it? It is very different from doing like a smooth body like we did with a belly dancer who was almost wearing no fabric, like just a really thin, I don't know how you call it, that sort of bodysuit. Whilst this is full of texture and fabric and different shapes. So all of those clothes are used to sort of enhance that movement and to show the dancing style. So this needs to dry for a moment, then I can go in and add details in her face, a bit more details around the blob, because we're basically at the blob stage now. So I think I'm just going to let it dry and then do a different drawing at the same time. So there we go. Another break dancer. So I'm starting with the blob. So this is the hand, arm, I think that's roughly where the face is. You can almost sort of exaggerate those lines and shapes a little bit. You can see that this is a technique that I'm very comfortable with, because I just quickly put it on the paper and I find it quite sort of fun to do. So, something that I do quite often. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, please let me know. Always happy to answer questions. I'm actually going to Margate next week, where I'm teaching a workshop at this creative festival. And I'm doing 2 workshops, a hand lettering workshop and an illustration workshop. And we're bringing lots of art materials. The sessions are quite short, but it's all about teaching young kids, young people to about art, like different. It's not just me, it's like lots of different people there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be lots of fun. So. Let's have a look. So the t-shirt is sort of here. Then the sleeve is going in this angle. That's the elbow that we just see there. So. We're just concentrating for a moment. Keep the face really simple. So. Then a bit more t-shirt sort of here. There we go. See, I quite like this technique. It's a little bit easier than this, but I really find this sort of really loose way of drawing just really fun to do. This is definitely a little bit easier in terms of like showing the proportions and showing what you want to do. So, alright, so let's go back here. So these trousers, they sort of touch the corner here of that t-shirt, and then this is going to be quite straight. So there's a bit of a pocket here, and then the trousers go that way, and here there's a bit of a belly button, and then that is the side of the belly. Should we give him some abs as well? So there we go. Then this part here for the crotch is a little bit too long, so I want to make that a bit shorter. So add in some wrinkles, because the trousers are sort of wrinkled up a bit that way. And then from here, this is almost a straight line to there. Ankle, and then shoes. There we go. See, sometimes I need to just focus for a moment and then things are gonna be okay. This part here. There we go. Let's add a little bit of extra shadow here and there. Yeah, these type of drawings really help you improve drawing people so much. Even though they're not all going to be great, some are going to be really messy, some are really detailed, sometimes the faces are really hard, but all of that like teaches you so much, and I really think you should not underestimate how much sketches like this help you improve your people drawing sort of in general. So there we go. Maybe a little bit more shadow here. I think I'm going to put my pen away for a moment, see how things are progressing. I do want to add a little bit more to her face as well. So I quite like the movement. I think the proportions are alright, and I think that movement of that dance really shows. But I do like to add in her face a little bit more. Let's see if I can achieve that. Just because I think it'd be nice to make that a little bit more detailed. So shall I use a black pen? There we go. So this sort of goes like that nose. I don't know if you can really see it, right? It's a bit too dark. let's add in a bit of white pencil. See, there's always quite a lot that you can do still to make a drawing a little bit more precise. I'm taking a bit of a light pencil here, just adding in a few more highlights. So. See, there we go. It looks a little bit more like a face already. Just by adding a bit of a black line, adding some highlights in. So, where's my pen here? So the jaw sort of goes this way. See, this is the nose. Adding in that hair a bit more flow. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not about creating a portrait, right? But I do quite like to at least have the feel that this is a human and not, I don't know, not a blob. See how that already looks a bit more like a face? So a bit of a white pencil. This is a watercolor pencil, but just any pencil can really go a long way sometimes, just to add in just a little bit of that gradient, make it a bit softer. So let me see how I can actually, so there we go. Show the whole picture again. So, see, the face looks a bit more like a face now, with a bit of attention and a little bit of careful adding details. And then let's add a few more sort of shadows and lines here. A bit more details to the t-shirt. See how with a few lines suddenly this really blobby picture sort of comes together and becomes much more detailed, and yeah, suddenly makes much more sense. And that's why you have to trust the process and not give up too quickly. It's okay if it's a bit hard to start with, but it's all part of the process. So. For example, just those letters on the t-shirt I think make quite a big difference already. So, see, there we go. I think I'm going to leave it like this, but sometimes when you just carry on a little bit longer and you think, oh, actually I'm not quite happy with this, can I add a little bit of a lighter color or a little bit of a darker color, or like what is it? Sometimes you can actually make quite a lot of changes to your drawings. So, what is the time? I think I'm going to slowly wrap up and then set up for my art class that I'm running after this. But See, in just 45 minutes we did one really quick one, 2, 3, 4, 5 sketches. And that one is actually quite detailed now. So when people say to me they don't have time to make art, you don't need lots of time, just a few reference pictures on your phone or on an iPad and ready to get going. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that now. Now I've added a little bit more to the face. I think suddenly things are coming together. So if anyone fancies joining my class tonight, it starts at 6 o'clock UK time. We are drawing dogs of all sorts of kinds and shapes, really going into like the sort of the anatomy and how to set up body shapes and different types of dogs. And yeah, it's going to be quite a sort of beginner friendly class. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. And remember, if you're a community member, just RSVP because all my classes are included in your community membership. And I should see you all not next week because I have a little break next week, I think. But yeah, soon. So keep an eye out for your emails and we'll see each other all soon. Bye.